Hello, my name is Julie Horvath, and I'm a Spanish teacher at Beloit Memorial High School in Beloit, Wisconsin. This presentation is to explain the process to become an adjunct instructor for Spanish 204 at UW-Oshkosh with their CAPP program. It is a program where high school students can get college credits for taking my course without taking any extra tests or placement tests. The first thing my students asked me was, what if they don't want to necessarily choose to go to college at UW-Oshkosh right now at this point in their high school career? This is some information about UW-Oshkosh and general education requirements. The answer to the question, if you don't want to go to Oshkosh, your credits that you get from taking Spanish 204 in high school through the CAPP program with Oshkosh is that those credits should transfer to another college or university. However, you would need to contact the registrar or the admissions office in order to make sure the credits will transfer. Spanish 204 is a 5-credit class. Those 5 credits will probably transfer to any college or university. Again, call the registrar or the admissions office and ask. However, the UW retro credits that come with Spanish 204, if you get the A or the B, which we'll discuss a little bit later, those retro credits may not transfer if the student does not attend a UW branch. Students, if you think you want to do the CAPP program, keep watching. The website for CAPP is all-inclusive. It has several links that are helpful, and it is a great benefit to be able to take some college classes in high school, especially at the discounted admissions and tuition rates for high school students in this special program. For instructors, and so that students know how their high school could offer CAPP courses, all CAPP courses are taught by university-approved high school instructors. Teachers need to have a master's in their field, in their area. They do need to fill in the application form, provide copies of transcripts, include their current resume. Their principal needs to write a letter of recommendation, and the teacher needs to provide a syllabus or a possible syllabus for the CAPP course so that they can compare it to the university, since the rigor needs to be the same. The university assigns each teacher a liaison, a professor from the university, to work with. I've talked with mine on the phone a few times, and we've already scheduled a face-to-face meeting. Instructors are also able to go to Oshkosh during their spring seminar to meet and find out more about the CAPP program and make sure they receive the support they need to be successful as a CAPP instructor. So please pause the video if you would need to read more on the screens. I'm going to try to make the video as brief as possible, but there's a lot of information on the screens, so pause as needed. The timeline for my application, I started working in January of 2018 on the application. I met with my principal and we got all the documents ready to go, and I submitted it in February. I believe I heard back from the university in April, at the end of April or May, in order to find out that I was approved to be an adjunct professor. And over the summer, I worked on modifying my curriculum to make sure it matched the rigor with the university and the timelines for when grades are due. Since our school is on a semester block, it works out really well. The Spanish 204 class is the equivalent of our Spanish 4, and it's offered in the fall semester, so my students are starting this class right now. What is this going to cost students? Tuition for the 2018-19 school year is the same as what you see on the screen. It's $100 per credit. Spanish 204 is a 5-credit course, so the total cost is $500. And from the time students apply after July 31st, then they'll register online. I'll show you those steps later. But they do have, I believe, until October 11th to pay the tuition. If students are qualifying for free and reduced lunch at their high school, there's a possibility you can get a lower tuition rate at 5 credits for $225 for the 2018-19 school year. So you would have to fill out the paperwork at your high school and see if you qualify. And then The students pay the high school, and then the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh actually bills the high school later on in the school year. Just to compare prices, you can pause the screen to take a look at what a 3-credit course costs on campus and compare it with the CAPP prices. This is a great deal, and students should take advantage of this. There are several CAPP courses that are available, but again, the instructors at the high schools need to have a master's degree in their field and complete all of the application steps to become an adjunct professor prior to offering those. So students will fill out the free application online, and then to sign up for the Spanish class, they have to wait to receive their UW Oshkosh email and password, and then they would actually be able to reach the registration site using their Oshkosh email and password. Retro credits are offered by UW University branches, and basically you have to get an A or a B in the very first college Spanish class or world language class you take. If you get an A or a B, not a B minus, you can get retro credits then for each course underneath the class that you actually took the first time. So Spanish 204 is the class that we're offering as the CAPP course. It is a 5-credit class. The students would pay only for the 5-credit class. But if the student gets an A or a B, not a B minus in the class, they would get those 5 credits plus the 4 credits for Spanish 110, plus the 4 credits for Spanish 111, and plus the 3 credits for Spanish 203, totaling 16 credits. That's 5 credits for the class and 11 retro credits. If you get the B minus or below, you only receive the 5 credits for taking Spanish 204. You do not get the retro credits. Please pause here to see more information on retro credits. The grading scale, so you can see where the B compares to the B minus, is on this screen. If your school offers many CAPP classes, there is a limit. CAPP students can take no more than 15 credits in one semester per UW Oshkosh policy. So is the student eligible to be a CAPP student? Technically, high school junior and seniors need to meet at least one of the requirements on this page. They need to rank in the top 25% of their class. They need to have a GPA of 3.25 or above on a 4.0 scale, or they need to have an ACT score of 24 or higher, and one of the following: rank in the top 50% of their class or a GPA of 2.75. However, students who do not meet one of those requirements may be allowed to enroll via the teacher and liaison sign-off form. So sophomores can actually get into a CAPP class this way, but the teacher must sign off and fill in a section online with the application to explain why the student would probably succeed as a CAPP student. And then the liaison from the university must also sign off on that online after the student applies and registers. For students to be able to apply, this page has some of the information that they need. Pause here to keep reading. This is the rest of the information they need to apply. So once the student has this, the application process online is very fast. Again, the application part is free. It's the registration for the class that will get you to that tuition rate. Pause here to read about the registration process. Once the student applies for free and registers, the student needs to talk to the high school CAPP instructor and let them know that they need to check their online account with Oshkosh in order to provide the note attached to their file explaining that they need to be admitted for special circumstances if the student is a sophomore or if they may not meet the eligibility requirements. Please pause here to read more about dropping a course and verifying a roster if you're an instructor. Students are encouraged to start a folder for their college level courses, and it's especially important because Oshkosh gives them not only a username and a password for UW Oshkosh email, but also login and user ID for the net ID for online registration and Titan Web. So it gets a little confusing if you don't keep some sort of document like this to keep your usernames and passwords organized. Oshkosh is pretty lenient with deadlines as long as you're within a few days. If you submitted an application after July 31st, my students were still able to get into our class. However, they do let you know that you need to fill out a certain form that says you applied late, and check your email and send a few more emails to make sure you're receiving the information that you need to be able to register. As a CAPP student, you do have access to a lot at the Oshkosh campus. You're able to do a campus visit. If you would like a Titan card, you can actually receive a student ID card and get into a lot of the events. You can use their online library. So you can check out the website for even more benefits as a CAPP student. If you have questions, please email me or call and leave a voicemail. And the CAPP office is also very helpful. So if I'm not able to answer your questions and you're one of my students, then you can contact the CAPP office. But they're trying to make sure that all of our high school students aren't calling the CAPP office for every question. So again, please email me or call with questions. If you're an instructor or a teacher at a high school and you're interested in applying for this program and you'd like to talk with me more, I would be happy to do that. So leave me a voicemail or send me an email. Thank you.